My fellow bankers, this is Nafi Sparrow, the representative of Benjamin B. Banks. And I would like to give a little bit of an explanation, if you will, to the purpose and the reason behind the whole thing of Benny Banks. Who is Benny Banks? Who is Benjamin B. Banks? And why did I choose to be his representative? Well, for those who don't know, Benjamin B. Banks was born in 1901 and passed in 1969. And he left for us a blueprint. He left for us a blueprint that that pretty much detail and outline his understanding of what success is and how to actually reach that goal, and how to actually become successful. And when coming across this blueprint myself, I can identify a lot with his line of reasoning, his concepts, the way that he explained things, and I try to embody that, and hopefully I do a good service in conveying some of the things that I have came across within the blueprint of Benny Banks. And one of the things that stuck out to me is that all of us have dreams. Some of us dare to challenge ourselves to actually live out those dreams. And some of us allow those dreams to lay dormant and never really challenge ourselves or push ourselves because we are bombarded with self-doubt, procrastination, indecision, and what other people may think. So we never really get a chance to live out our dreams. And I find this to be very perplexing, especially in the type of society that we live in, which is a capitalistic society that deals in capitalism. And also, especially with the newer generation, with the social media and the different ways to actually market it, oneself and one's dream, one's thoughts and one's vision. It's so easily to convey that to the masses, when before that wasn't easy, and especially in Benny time, definitely wasn't easy. Nonetheless, why did I choose Nafi Sparrow to be a representative of this character and this person who is named Benny Banks? What is it that captivated me and allowed me to say, okay, I would do it? Because many of you guys may know me as of a Islamic persona. And yes, my faith is Islam and I am Muslim. And many of you guys might say, why did I embark upon being a representative for Benny Banks? And I just want to let you guys know, there is a passage that is written inside the blueprint of Benny Banks, his blueprint for success. And he says, at the end of this, he mentioned, however, I sincerely hope whoever comes across this treasure of mine benefit from it greatly and use it to help others. For how true is the statement, the happiest people are those who do the most for others, the most miserable are those who do the least. And this sums up inspiration. And for me, what else do I do? Based off a Islamic tradition that is quoted from the Prophet and Messenger of Islam, he mentioned that the most beloved people to Allah, or God, if you will, is those who benefit others the most. So what I wanted to do was, in order to get this message of Benny Banks out there, I wanted to begin to start a podcast. This is not a podcast session here. This is just a little bit insight into who Benny Banks, not really too much who he is, but more so an insight into his message and why I chose to be a representative of him to spread this particular message of his, to inspire others, because this is what it's about. It's about inspiration. And it's nothing more fulfilling or more pleasing than to see and to help someone else. How many of us, this is what we do. We look for inspiration. We look for that life coach. We look for that motivating song or that motivating theme or that physical trainer or that spouse or that particular family member or that friend who always cheer you on so that you can push a little bit stronger, you can push a little bit further when you're feeling a little bit down, to let you know when you're bombarded with doubt, self-doubt. This allows you as a person to feel that inspiration, that push, because we all need that push. So this is what this is about. This is more so about bringing about that inspiration and tying it into your actual dreams. Instead of you just allowing your life to go by and laying dormant and not living out your dreams, and you watching others, because if you're glued to your phone or you're glued to TV, you are watching someone else's dream. If you're working and you are employed in someone else's vision and someone else's dream. Walmart was a dream, okay? Just like Coca-Cola was a dream. Many of these different companies, big companies that people work for and so forth, they were dreams and visions of someone else. And they had to be executed and brought into fruition. And other people are living and working out those dreams. And then we see a lot of the different athletes and entertainers and these different things that, we're entertained. So we have ideas, we have visions that we want to live out. But how do we go about doing that? How do we go about being successful? Well, that's what this podcast, hopefully once we start it, will be able to inspire you to see that you don't have to be stuck and you don't have to allow yourself to become complacent, and you don't have to allow yourself to become boggled down about the thoughts of others. Because many people are going to tell you how you cannot succeed and how you cannot do something and how there is a plethora of other people doing it and what make you think that you're going to stand out. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm going to be that line of reason by way of a representative of Benny Banks to distill that and to put out those doubts and to put out those indecisions and to get you to be able to put yourself on track to move forward and not being afraid to live your dream, not being afraid to push a little bit further, wherever your dream may be. And that's what this is about. And that's why I chose Nafi Sparrow to be a representative of Benjamin B. Banks, who AKA is known as Benny Banks. I chose to be his representative because even in my Islamic persona, that's what I do on an everyday basis. I inspire others. And by inspiring others, I inspire myself. And by helping others, I help myself. And this is what I signed up for. And I signed up to help people. And I want to be able to express that by way of conveying his message. And I found his message to be very realistic, something that's very simplistic. And the things that he mentioned is showing us the natural things that we have already. Like Benny Banks, in his Blueprint for Success, he lays out that richness begins with the state of mind. And he also lays out the fact that your natural resources is what you already, which is your God-given abilities, which you already have and possess, such as your faculties, such as your heart, such as your mind. These things you already possess, which makes you already enriched. All of the other things, materialistic things, they come as a result of what you already have inside you. And who cannot relate to that? Who cannot understand that? That's the driving force behind it. But many people, even though they possess these richness, and even though they have these treasures buried within themselves, they don't know how to find them and to tap into them. So that's what this podcast will do. It will help you tap into your own personal mind. It will help you get inside and be able to pour those things out and to remove yourself and elevate yourself in a better position, in a better light, and help you become prosperous no matter what it is, because success is not tantamount to financial gain. It's not tantamount to many possessions. That's not success. But success, all of those things circulate and circulate around the actual thing of being success. And being success is just carrying and executing out any vision that you have. You understand? And many of us are talented in so many different ways. And being talented is all about creativity. Henceforth, God gave us all an imagination. All right, so we all have the ability to be creative, and it's all in different ways. Which is art is an expression. Art is an expression. All right, art is just not drawing something. Art is an expression, and art can be expressed in many different ways. So that's what I wanted to give you guys, that little bit of explanation to Benny Banks, the inspiration, and why Nafis Sparrow, if you might be confused, is being a representative for this Benny Banks guy who was born 1901 and died in 1969, and why is I connecting myself with that. And even though I have an Islamic persona, I don't want no one to get it confused that I am saying that the philosophy of Benny Banks supersedes that of the Islamic tenets, and so forth. I don't want no one to think that's what I'm saying. But there's nothing wrong with broadening our horizon and be able to taking that which is good and to leave off that which is not. There's nothing wrong with doing any of those things. So if you are interested and really want to invest in yourself, because that's what the Benny Banks thing is about, inspiration, investing in yourself, investing in your growth, investing in quality. And if you want to do that, and this is something that you want to see yourself doing, then you will tune in to Benny Banks podcast. And we thank you guys for banking with Benny, and you become one of the fellow bankers. Hey, this is Nafis Sparrow, the representative of Benny Banks. I thank you guys for tuning in. Please stay tuned for Deposit One for the podcast. It will be starting shortly, and I will keep you guys abreast and make sure I be able to send the links to you guys so that you can actually tune in and listen to the actual podcast and maybe gain some benefit, hopefully. Thank you.